Thank you. How you doing, Greta?
I'm doing very well, sir. All right, Reverend, on such an important topic that faces us in this discussion, I really don't want to get it wrong and misquote Reverend Wright. So here's the plan. I'm going to play those parts of his sermons, Reverend Wright's exact words, and ask you again whether the statements of Reverend Wright are hate against white. Then you can reply. If you think I'm wrong, Reverend, you can set me straight at that point, but I want to make sure that I don't get Reverend Wright wrong. So listen to this list. These are what I consider to be hate, and then we'll go from there.
All right.
This government lied about their belief that all men were created equal. The truth is they believed all white men were created equal. The truth is they did not believe that even white women were created equal in creation nor in civilization. The government had to pass an amendment to the Constitution to get white women to vote. Then the government had to pass an equal rights amendment to get equal protection under the law for women. The government still thinks a woman has no rights over her own body, and between Uncle Clarence, who sexually harassed Anita Hill, and a closeted Klan court that is a throwback to the 19th century, handpicked by Daddy Bush, Ronald Reagan, Gerald Ford, between Clarence and that stacked court, they're about to undo Roe versus Wade, just like they're about to undo affirmative action. The government lied in its founding documents, and the government is still lying today. For every one Oprah, a billionaire, you got 5 million blacks who are out of work. For every one Colin Powell, a millionaire, you got 10 million blacks who cannot read. For every one Condoleeza Rice, you got 1 million in prison. For every one Tiger Woods who needs to get beat at the Masters with his cat blazing hips playing on a course that discriminates against women. For every one Tiger Woods, we got 10,000 black kids who will never see a golf course. The government gives them the drugs, builds bigger prisons, passes a 3-strike law, and then wants us to sing God Bless America. No, no, no. Not God Bless America. God damn America. That's in the Bible for killing innocent people. God damn America for treating us citizens as less than human. God damn America as long as she tries to act like she is God and she is supreme. I am sick of Negroes who just do not get it. Hillary was not a black boy raised in a single-parent home. Barack was. Barack knows what it means to be a black man living in a country and a culture that is controlled by rich white people. Hillary can never know that. Hillary ain't never been called a Hillary has never had her people defined as non-person. Hillary ain't had to work twice as hard just to get accepted by the rich white folk who run everything, or to get a passing grade when you know you are smarter than that C student sitting in the White House. Oh, I am so glad that I got a God who knows what it is to be a poor black man in a country and a culture that is controlled by and run by rich white people. Hillary is married to Bill, and Bill have been good to us. No, he ain't. Bill did us just like he did Monica Lewinsky. He was riding dirty, but he fixed it so some of y'all are now riding pretty. Money talks and BS walks.
Reverend, you and I had the discussion in the context of Don Imus when Senator Obama called for him to be fired when he made his horrible statement about the Rutgers women's basketball team, and that's how you and I sort of got into this. All right, go ahead. Not hate?
Well, I think that, again, the position that I'm saying, you had made the statement about Don Imus, and what I was saying is that I being involved in the leadership of the removal of Don Imus, whether one agrees or disagrees with Reverend Wright's statements, I don't hear anything that you've played that is equivalent to him using a denigrating term against someone's sex or race. I mean, I hear him make a lot of charges against the government. I hear him goes through American history, the most of which you played where he defended white women who were excluded as well as blacks. And I heard him make charges against the Clintons. There's nothing in there. I mean, maybe we need to remind people, Mr. Imus called people a nappy-headed H word. There's no denigrating term he used toward any race or sex. In fact, most of what you played, he was defending white women. If Don Imus had said that basketball was terrible or even the tournaments were terrible and had done people wrong, no one would have complained. He used racial and gender-biased terms. You can't compare that to someone who may have, in your judgment, extreme views or whatever views against the government or against certain politicians, and that's what you just played to me. You didn't play one time. He made a derogatory term about someone's race or someone's sex.
All right, let me just point to one particular exchange, and you and I can go back a little bit back and forth on this, and then you and I probably should move on, or we could be doing here this all night long.
Right.
But let's take the part about Senator Clinton. It says, Hillary ain't never had her people defined as non-persons. I think probably every woman out there who has got unequal wages probably wouldn't be particularly flattered by that remark or think that was very, was accurate.
Well, again, we could debate that maybe, and if you go to his earlier comments about women not being treated right, you might say he didn't say the same thing earlier. But he certainly were not calling them hoes or bees, which is what Don Imus did. Again, my only disagreement with you, Greta, is how you equate that with what Don Imus did and say that Obama should have had the same reaction to him as Obama, when clearly what I think Senator Obama agreed with many of us on is that we were buying products for people that were advertising for a man that used an outright sexist and racist term, not that had a view that might be considered inaccurate or a view that we consider extreme.
All right, I agreed to that you could have a fair chance to come back and talk on it because I didn't want to sort of railroad you. You and I, let's agree to disagree on this one, all right?
All right, Greta, that's fair.
All right. All right, now let me move a little bit off to another little aspect. Do you endorse what Reverend Wright has to say? Do you agree with him?
Well, I mean, again, I would have to hear the whole sermons. I think that, let me be very clear, National Action Network and I are very clearly people that mourned 9/11. Reverend Wright's associates tell me that he did not, if you listen to the whole sermon, denigrate that. I would be sensitive about 9/11, as I'm sure any Christian would. I live in New York. A young man lived with us 9 weeks. I don't agree with any denigration of that. I do agree with him on the aspects of history. It's a historic fact that when the nation was formed, blacks and women couldn't vote. I don't think there's anything to disagree with there. And I do agree with him that some aspects of the Clinton administration I didn't agree with. I didn't agree with the omnibus crime bill. I didn't agree with NAFTA. I mean, whether you want to debate terms.
Let me ask you one quick question because we're running out of time. I mean, I got the idea that there's some things you do, some things you don't. Do you have any problem whatsoever that Senator Obama, for lack of better words, didn't, that he sort of hit him a year ago when he disinvited him to when he made his announcement, and then last week he finally said he shouldn't be part of his advisory committee, and now he sort of acts that, or at least in his speech, he still embraces him as sort of an uncle. Do you have any problem with that?
No, I think that's what Senator Obama said very clearly, and I might add courageously, is that if he has disagreements, probably more than I do, with some things, that he does not denounce the person. Just like I argue with people on your station and I go to dinner with them. I think that he is saying, I don't denounce the person, I don't disown the person, even if I disagree with the statement. And how are we ever going to heal the country if we throw people away that we disagree with?
All right, Reverend, I hope you think you got a fair shot to come on back. And Reverend, you and I disagree on this one, but you're always welcome back here, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.